So you want to start making music. You maybe have your DAW or a pair of headphones and your keyboard, and you don't really know where to start. The first thing I'd recommend is spend some time around your DAW, learn what different buttons do, and check out the sounds that it comes with. I'm in Ableton, so the first thing I did was download all of the free packs that come with Ableton and then just spend a couple hours going through, looking through their free sounds. You can do the same thing with Logic. Logic has some excellent options and featured artists you can download into your library for free. That being said, I've got a collection of free synths here and sample-based instruments that are going to kind of fill in the gaps and get you some amazing high quality sounds for free. You might want to set up like a dummy email or an extra account because a lot of these plugins require a sign up for a free account before they'll actually let you download and activate these plugins. Another thing, if you just want to skip ahead to the demos, I've timestamped this video and you can click right along in the chapters if you just want to get a really quick demo of these. So let's get into it. First thing I want to bring up here is Vital. Vital is a super powerful wavetable synth. This is kind of like a free version of Serum, but it actually has a couple things that you can't even do in Serum. I would recommend, if you've never played with a synth before, watch tutorials, download some presets, see how other sounds are made, but pick something flexible and powerful like Vital that can take you in any direction. It comes with some awesome presets, but I would highly recommend making your own. The other thing with this synth is you can kind of map anything to anything else, like this envelope controller that normally just controls the volume. I could map to, for instance, controlling the amount of unison voices here. This is just a cool preset I've made called Sudden SQ because it's a FM square bass that sounds like Riddim to me. Check this out. But you can make anything in Vital. Like, let's just switch this to like a basic shape. And we'll take a saw. And I'll turn off this FM here. And now you've got like a nice standard kind of like house bass. Vital is extremely powerful. It's got its own effects rack in here that is super easy to use and stack effects with. It's got a matrix to show you everything that's being routed. You can edit your wave tables. You can feed audio in. It's got sampler that you can use any sample you drag in as an oscillator. But overall, this is an amazing synth. You can learn a lot here. I would recommend just going up here into this preset browser and look at some of these different presets. Like, let's look at Moog Pluck. We load this and we can see, oh, okay, it's a saw wave and then a maybe slightly modified saw wave. It's got some bend processing. This is its envelope. And you can see there's even a macro for a filter over here. So if you find a sound that you like, feel free to modify it. You don't have to feel bad about using someone else's preset, but it's going to be good for you as a producer to learn how that sound is made so that when you think of something, you can break it down and synthesize it yourself. Next one I want to talk about is a sample-based instrument. This is Labs by Spitfire Audio. They've got a lot of different free sounds available on their website, and I will have links to all of these in the description below. But I just want to show you one of my favorites here. This is called Soft Piano. And for a sampler, this is extremely efficient. You can see up here, my PC is at 7%, and I've got all these instruments open. But just listen to how good this sounds for one sec. If you move the mod wheel or this lever here, you can change the dynamics. So this is actually going to reduce the dynamics and kind of level out the volume, which could be good depending on what you're trying to do with this sound. Just incredible. You're not going to get that good of a sound out of a stock instrument. Same with this Autograph Grand. If you, I'm kind of a nerd about piano sounds. This Autograph Grand is sampled off of like a world famous piano that's been used by tons of different artists. Check this one out. It's a little more bright sound. It's just clean. It's just accurate. It's awesome. But Spitfire Labs has a ton of different instruments that they've meticulously sampled and created these awesome, awesome sounds with. Like, let's take a look at this choir sound, Gaelic voices. You can see down here, it's actually kind of limited what keys are available. So it's not going to let you create a really stretched bad vocal sample. So whether you're scoring something or you want to make really cinematic, dramatic sounds, Spitfire has incredible modeling. I don't particularly like their guitar sounds, but that being said, they've got some really cool things out. It's all free. Definitely take a look at some of these. Let's see what Cloud Whirly sounds like. So that might be good for like a lo-fi type sound or something like that. Spitfire also, if you make an account for free, will give you this BBC Orchestra Discovery. This thing I could make a whole video about, but just listen to this. This is all the different sections of an orchestra. Let me just show you violins 1. I mean, that's got to be one of the most true-to-life sounding orchestras for free that you can get. Spitfire makes crazy libraries. Some of them are many gigabytes and super CPU intense, but you can score an entire movie inside of Spitfire, no problem. I can't wait to use these horns. They have this perfect like swell in the mid-range. Just epic. Their cellos are very beautiful. I mean, come on. It's incredible. And then where's their basses at? Basses go super low. Lots to explore in the BBC Symphony Orchestra. You can load multiple instances of it. It's not going to melt your CPU like old sample libraries. It loads right away. It's fast. You've got this multiple expressions of playing. Like if I go to cello, pizzicato. You know, chances are high that you've heard a movie scored with a Spitfire instrument in there. Go get Spitfire, 100% worth it. Another one I want to talk about that is sample-based is Decent Sampler. This one actually has a ton of libraries online, so I'm going to post a link to pianobook.co.uk, which has a handful of really well-made instruments. But Decent Sampler is another sample-based instrument that is very easy to use. When you first load it up, you go to the sample store. There are a ton of free libraries and some paid options. Most of them have a demo or they're free and you can, try before you buy. This one, Interlaced, has a lot of really cool different synth sounds. You could probably make like a really cool vaporwave song with just this. That one's okay. Decent sampler. A lot of the libraries are pad based, but I did want to show you this one. Let me show you two of them that are really, really decent and free. First one is this RJS guitar, old strings. This is like, it just sounds like a guitar solo. It's fantastic. You know, a little amp modeling, it's going to sound amazing. Let's just do that really quick. And we'll keep with stock plugins. Honestly, Ableton has some amazing stock plugins. So I'll just bring in the blues cabinet. I'm sorry, the amp. I like the blues setting, add a little bit of crunch. We'll do like a 2x12 stereo. We'll put a little bit of spring reverb on it. When I hit the note too hard, it does that sound. This is like so far one of the best sounding guitars, especially for free, that I have heard. And let's go ahead and crank the gain and get it a little crunchy. It's so playable even on a keyboard, and I don't really play... You know, I don't really think very well in terms of guitar. The other thing that's nice on this, the palm muted preset. If you had one shot. Yeah, it's super solid, and that's just one of all these free libraries. Let's see here. They had a really good piano, the Emperor and King. This is like a really cool sounding piano, kind of like an intimate sound. Check this one out. So kind of like an upright, recorded really close, a lot of hum and artifacts in there that make it kind of interesting. And it's also just got some really amazing pads. Like here's one, Santa Monica Waves. They built this by sampling actual waves and then finding resonances and then bringing out those harmonics a little bit. But just for the depth of like a pad that you could use in the background of something, it's... This Chimera, this is really powerful as well. Just absolute massive pad. Decent sampler, infinite expansion available, so much cool stuff. Cool. So next thing I wanted to talk about is some of these free plugins by Meatbeats. Meatbeats makes these really cool, like basically 90s recreations of synths. This free one is called Orbhitz. It's got a bunch of classic sounds. I love this interface too. It's like an old digital screen, pre-LED era. But you'll hear lots of sounds in here from 90s house, early 2000s house, and just a lot of cool stuff. If you're into like the history of dance music, you'll find a lot of like gold in here. It's got a lot more than that. Let's check out what else was cool on here. So it's got some hits, it's got some chords, it's got some fun bass stuff. Maybe not that one. So a lot of good sounds in here if you're trying to make something with a kind of nod to the past. And there's a lot of good sounds overall. Let's check out some of these hits. I've got an idea for that one. Orbhitz is cool. That one's free. They also have a lot of great name your price plugins. This is another one. They have micro piano for free. I'm really excited to use this one. It's just like, there's no presets or anything. It's just a perfect recreation of like that 90s dance piano you would hear all the time. Check this out. It's just perfect. It's out of the gate. It's a really lightweight plugin. I'm a big fan. And then they also offer micro keys for free, which Orbhitz is monophonic. It'll only let you do one note at a time. Micro keys lets you do full chords and everything. And this is another one just chocked full of classic sounds. Check this out. You know, this is just one of my favorites that I've found after a quick browse, but it's got a lot of like DX7 Yamaha classic sounds too. I love that organ too. It's just clean, it's easy. I'm not hunting down, I'm not tweaking a bunch of knobs, just keeping me quick. Just nothing but beautiful, beautiful sounds. Let's see here. Let's take a look at Slate Machine, BitFlip. This one's kind of an honorable mention. I don't use it that often. It is pretty cool. And it's got a lot of classic, like, old school synths and kind of 8-bit sounds. What I found with this, I don't like the presets that much. I tend to make my own stuff, but I'll show you real quick. This free preset that comes with it is called Triangle Twins. Could be useful for lo-fi. It's got a really nice lo-fi reverb, and it's got a really nice bit crusher effect. Like, let me see. It does let you edit the sounds, which is always nice. Like, let's reduce this LFO here. But yeah, we just look around here. Secret layer, what's that? So if I was scoring like a classic like sprite-based 2D game, I'd probably do most of it in BitFlip. A little more genre specific, BitFlip is really cool. In the same vein, we've got Rave Generator. They actually have a version 3 of this, but their original version's completely free, and it's got some awesome sounds in here, some stabs, just a lot of classic house sounds. I loaded up Juno Bass and Hoover, and you can actually just load multiple presets in here, or samples. Just off these 2 presets, I was able to make, basically recreate Steve Aoki remix of Memories by Kid Cudi. So it's got a lot of classic sounds. Let's take a look here. What else? Stabs, house stab. A lot of just classic stuff. Definitely worth playing with. One thing in music is that we try to kind of make little nods or familiarities in our music that kind of keeps people engaged and gives it some context. Let's see what Lost in House is. This could be cool. A little more genre specific. There's some really cool stuff inside of here though. Happy hardcore stab. You'd hear this in a lot of happy hardcore songs. See what short rave is. If you click loop, it will loop that sample and then you can drag these around. If you wanted to do a crazy effect, you could something like that, But one thing I really like about this is you can stack stuff, and you have to bring the volume down to kind of blend it. Okay, that doesn't sound good, but usually stacking a couple of them will sound good. So a lot of nods to old school house, sample based stuff. Let's try some organs. I mean, that's the 90s organ right there, A lot of these I have heard are not necessarily tuned into key, so you might have to do that and grab this tune knob. And make it work with your song. But if you like house music, Rave Generator should be at the top of your list. And for a free plugin, this thing is just awesome. Oh, I didn't see this before. They've got a voices section. Let's see, yeah. I've heard that in a lot of house songs. That's crazy. And it's just right here. So hopefully that was helpful. These are just strictly instruments. I'm actually doing a separate video dedicated to effects, but I didn't want this video to get too long. If you liked it or you think I'm missing something that you use all the time and that you love in your music production flow, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to check it out. And I'm thinking that this might be something that we do every 6 months, update on what the community's using, what you guys have found, what's super useful. These 9 instruments or so should be a really great starting point for you to jump off and start producing and making music, which is what it's all about.